I'm going to show you today how to burrito Deb. So we're going to start from the point where we've laid the cover gown down on her and looped the leg straps through the hole. So once we've done that, remembering to tuck the extra slack up into her waist and the belt of the sling. And then, also making sure that you're tucking along her hips. The smoother you can tuck and the more you can tuck under, the better and more comfortable it will be for Deb for the remainder of the day. Also, the better it'll stay in place. So just making sure that's nice and tucked. And then typically at this point, if we were going to do an actual transfer, I would likely buckle her, but we're not doing that for this purpose. And should be hooked to the motor too, so might change it a little bit. I'm going to make sure that the gown is nice and laid out, that it's not covering her feet. It's kind of just at her ankles, but it's nice and smooth. We've done the tucking, so now I'm going to take the outer gown, both sides of it. I'm going to work from behind her first and really make sure I'm pulling down and getting all the slack out, but also pulling out to really get all the wrinkles and everything out from behind her. So I'm going to work underneath, starting kind of up near her hips and thighs, first pulling out, and then I'm going to come down by her knees and pull down so that all the slack is out. Good? Alright. Next thing I do, when I'm pulling down, I also make sure that it's pulled all the way down to her knees, the back of her knees, which is that's where we want the hem to be when we go to burrito her. So now it's time to burrito, and I'm going to actually start from the back of her knees, and I grab the hem, make sure it's where I want it to be, and then also just kind of pull up on it, make it secure, because it's most important to make sure that it's tight around her knees. It'll allow to keep her legs tighter together, but it also gives us more slack to work with too. So I'm going to bring it up and kind of grab what I can, so a handful here, really tight, and then same with the other side. Again, I'm really working to make sure that the hem stays nice and tight along her knees. Next thing I'm going to do is wrap the two ends together. Again, I try to keep as much tension as I can on this to make sure that it's staying nice and tight. So once I have them wrapped together like so, I'm actually going to pull up and then tighten down. By doing that, it allows me to get more slack too and to get it tighter. I'm also, when I pull up and I tighten down, I try to pull it as close to her knees as possible, because the closer it is to her knees, the tighter her legs will get, and it's better to have her legs nice and secure and tight than she's not using a ton of energy to try to keep her legs together. It also helps us to get her into the chair more easily. So, oh yeah, it's not unusual for me to put a leg up or to sit on the bed. For me personally, it helps my back and just makes me feel like I can actually get it worked a lot better. So usually I'll pull up and tighten it probably 2 or 3 times until there's not much slack left to tighten. And as you can see, it actually did create a lot more slack for me to work with. So the next thing I'm going to do is cross them over each other again, so I have a nice little loop. And I actually try to kind of create that loop to be as small as I can. And I'm working with whichever side has more slack is the one that I'm going to do a little bit of a tuck with. So then I'm going to start to tuck it through the hole. So if you can come get a closer look and see. I just tucked it a little bit. I didn't pull it all the way through. So then that way I'm going to grab just this portion and this portion, and it's already pretty tight. Like I can let go and it's not going to do anything. But just to make sure it's extra secure, just pull on the little nub and pull on the other slack, and it'll be nice and tight and good. So I think the help with it is to really make sure that when you go to do that cross, really making sure that it's already really tight. There's a lot of tension, and it's as small of a hole as possible for you to work with initially. So.